to a computer.
Hello, everybody. Here we are, week 4. Hello, Alison.
Hi, Sam.
So here we are on our dream life experiment, year where we start with our goals of what we'd like to achieve in a year, and each day we work towards those. Can I just do a disclaimer? I do apologize for the background. We've got a play date going on.
Not apologise. I'm just finding it hard to listen to you because I'm sort of half would prefer to watch what they're up to. It's funny.
Hilarious, hilarious. And you know what the beautiful thing about this is they are just playing so beautifully, having so much fun, and they do not care about the mess that they,
Pulling
which
at every tie.
will be cleaning up at some point. But anyway, if that's the worst of having a child, that's the
Yeah,
worst.
yeah, exactly. At least it's
What?
not Lego.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. My mum used to say to us when she wanted us to tidy the Lego, to go and play with the Lego, and then
Mm.
that way we would then. Well, actually, I don't know. I don't know what she had an angle. I'm trying to say is that if she wanted probably us to go away, she would tell us
Yeah,
to Lego because then we would play with the Lego and then we'd be out of her hair.
yeah, there's probably that. Yeah.
So talking of cleaning up, one of the things I've started doing this week is started just going through uh, the unit, um, and I suppose Maria Kondoing it a little bit. If you don't know who
Yeah.
Maria is, a beautiful Japanese lady who says that whatever you have within your property or within your life space, um, then there's a love that comes from it. So any
Hmm.
piece of anything, then you hold it. Do I love it? If the answer is yes, then you get to keep it. And if it's like, not really, then it has to go.
Mm.
So probably not that drastic at the moment, but I'm definitely going through uh, different drawers and different cupboards and just going, right, what do I need?
Yeah.
What's supportive of our life and what's not? What clutter have I got that I and also the other thing is when I was in Kmart the other day, I do love Kmart. There was always something in Kmart that you could uh, enhance your life with. It's actually standing there and saying, will this really enhance my life?
Mm.
Or is it just something that it's going to give me that instant gratification for the next 24 hours?
Yeah. There's two things on that because I'm a bit of a buyer as well. Every time you buy something, that's another thing to look after. That's what I say. Do I want that job? And sometimes people give me plans and I go, "Oh." Like I've had two kids. I've meant to get them through to adulthood. I can look after things, but when someone gives me a plan, I get this little feeling. I'm like, I've got to keep that alive. So it's a job. And so everything, but like this pen, this lovely Tiffany pen that used to be my dad. And look at that. That needs some looking after. I'm going to have to polish that. So we go, I've got this lovely pen and it was my dad's and all the thing, but it's filthy right now. So every single thing in your house, first of all, it used to be money.
Yeah.
And second of all, you have to look after it. So I find that question when I'm at the shops is like, do I love this thing enough so that I've got to look after it? Because until you chuck it out, it's your job. And so yeah, that's fun. All right. So you're doing throwing out. So some culling, Sam Cully.
Okay, Kelly. And I tell you what, the satisfaction, I did my pantry earlier. And I've walked past the pantry, I don't know, I say half a dozen times. I've opened the pantry door each time and admired my work because it looks so good. And then I close it all off, I go again.
And so imagine if the whole house was always like that, because that's what she does when Marie Kondo, she says she walks in the thing, she puts her shoes in the spot, bag, whatever I mean, it sounds like a lot sometimes the way she lives her life. And yeah, it must be very pleasing,
Like
to
that.
look around and everything is exactly where it should be. And yeah, anyway, it's fun, fun, fun. Talking about that, you can see that clutter behind me. I just see, look at that. Now that, by the way, we're redoing our backyard right now. And that's going to be a vision board. I did a vision board, but I did it um, on the computer and I realized it's not the same for me. So if anyone's thinking of doing vision boards, doing it on the computer and making it all look nice on a single page is kind of cool. But there's something about like actually getting these and then cutting them out and sticking them on is a tactile. Maybe it's just I'm old school, but it's really interesting because the stuff that's on the other vision board's not as much fun to look at as the stuff on this one that I haven't even made yet. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's an aside for vision boards. So keep going. You're about to say. I said about this mess behind me before I said that. You were
Right,
going to say something.
right, both there then. Thought they were going to make a lot of noise. What was I going to say? We're a condo, tidying up. Can't remember. That was then. And
Yeah.
this is.
Okay. Good. All right. So you're being a smug little cleaner.
I am being a smug little cleaner, and it is really one of the goals that I would love to have is that I know I was going to ask you. You said about Marie Kondo popping her stuff everywhere. Do you do that? Because I
Yeah.
do piles. I do piles,
No.
then I tidy the pile.
No. No. Because I've got a rule. If it takes less than 2 minutes, do it now. So
Right.
putting something away, hands down, takes less than 2 minutes.
Say that out loud again, just so it's a rule.
If it takes less than 2 minutes, do it now.
That's
So,
okay.
taking off my jumper and putting it on the floor drobe or the chair drobe rather than just putting in that's definitely less than 2 minutes. So hands down, not creating pile. Don't like piles, don't like looking at them. That's doing my head in now that I've seen it out of the corner of my eye, because I'm doing that after we finish our call. So, do not do that. And everything has a place anyway. Now, it might not look like a place to you. So behind there, that might not look like everything's in its place, but it absolutely is. That's where I've decided everything goes. So that's where it lives. And I don't do it any other way.
Yeah,
The
okay.
blocks maybe are not quite in their exact right place. So just adjust the one of the kids. That probably goes a bit more in the middle. But anyway, yeah. So it's just about things having houses, in my place.
Yeah.
And if
And
it's
I would say, well, I not me saying, but most of what I've read says that if your surroundings is organized, then your head is organized, your brain is
it is
organized,
for me.
it's free to, yeah, me too. Your brain is free to then create or to work. I always find that if or and when I work from home, if I do anything from home, I've got to do the job first. So that might just
Yeah.
be moving the floor, might be just put like Stanley's toys away, make sure the kitchen's clean. I can't physically sit down and do the work until those jobs have been done.
And I've heard people say that that's procrastination, and I understand, procrastinate cleaning, and I probably did that a little bit when I was at uni. Sometimes, like, oh, I've got a chemistry exam, must clean the bathroom. But to a lesser degree, there's definitely a tidiness of the desk and all of that, and it's a little bit of that thing when they say don't do your emails, like only do them a certain time. But if I've got a whole big lot of emails, sometimes it's like, it's not that I can't concentrate. I choose not to. I just want to get that off the table. And that's where this week has been interesting for me with what I've been doing with my, I've got a daily list. One of the things that I put on my list, and we talked about it the other day, was to read one page of a psychology textbook. And that's not how I read. I tend to read in big chunks, not in, so that's that batching thing. And so another one of those rules is that I do batching. So I will have a whole lot of tasks together. So I pay bills all at the one time. So I put things in groups. So that's kind of the piles that I have. And so the way I read is I read a lot and then I have a break. But I said I was going to read one page of a psychology textbook, and it's been hindering me because I don't want to read one page. I want to read a whole lot. I'll still end up reading more the way I do it. I might read 50 pages. So in a week, I would have read more, but I'm just not good at just doing a tiny little bit at a time.
Yeah,
So that's been a real, just knowing how I work has
yeah,
been
because
really important for me. Yeah.
yeah, because
Because,
otherwise you've lied to yourself, haven't you? You've just made something up, and you're basically on a level you're failing at what you're doing. Therefore, there's a feeling of incompletion.
yeah. And it was stopping me from doing other things. Like I'd be like, oh, I haven't done the psychology textbook. And that became like you said about on the way or in the way. That got very much on the way. So it blocked me from doing something that was lower down on the list, not lower down in um, importance, but just on the list because like, oh, I've still got to do that psych textbook, so I won't go for my walk yet. And so that was really interesting. So I've just gotten rid of it. I've just taken off the list entirely. I'll read it if I choose to. And it's there as an option, but it's not on the tick box list because I was feeling like, like it's weird. It's my own list. I made up the list. I'm the person who's ticking it off. I was tempted to tick it even when I didn't do it. That was one thing that was happening. And then the next thing was I was feeling like I was failing because I wasn't reading the one page. So anyway, I've freed that up. So I've done an emotional culling where you're doing a physical one.
And so that's the importance, isn't it, of keep going back and looking at what it is that we feel is important, which over there's 300, what have we got, 33 days left,
Mm.
4 days left. You know, the idea again is that by the end of the year, you've really tracked on what really is important to us. And what's really important to us is, you know, what then we're going to get through to the next 365 days from there.
Yep.
You know, you never know what that might be. And I think sometimes as well, what we think is important to us is what we think we should be doing to please other people. And what actually happens is it's not what pleases us.
Yeah. Or it's just a fantasy. You know,
Yeah.
like it's literally a fantasy that I would be some amazing psychology knowledge person, you know, and really that's just a fantasy. And that's okay. But let's just refine it. So it's, yeah, that's why this is an experiment, right? So it's just like, oh, thought that was important. Turns out it's not. I think Mark Manson talks a bit about that quite a bit, right? Yeah. Thought I wanted to be a lead singer in a band. Turns out I don't.
Yeah.
That's okay. Let's just call it.
Yeah. What are you going to sacrifice to get there? I ain't reading a page a day, which would be what, 10 minutes, if that?
Yeah. Oh, it's two.
Oh, but it just shows how it's not important to you.
Book's
And
heavy. Have to lift it up. Turn the page. Hard to do. And you should
yes,
see where it is. It's like it couldn't be more prominent.
yeah,
So my personal shame has been talking to me every time I walk past. There's another desk upstairs. Every time I walk past, that says, oh.
yeah.
Anyway, funny. Always funny.
Well,
All right. So what's the plan for you for the rest of next week? Like what you continuing with culling or what are you doing?
now I'm continuing with culling.
Mm-hmm.
Continue with so my other one thing that I'm just started doing is getting the 10,000 steps in a
Mm-hmm.
day. However,
Yeah.
I'm not making myself do the 10 a day, but I've got to have 70 done by the week.
Right. Yeah.
So if I, you know, if I make 8,000 or 6,000 or whatever it is, that's okay. Because today, Friday afternoon, Saturday, Sunday, Monday morning, their time, okay, I can instead of just walking 3Ks, I can go 4Ks. You know,
Yeah.
I've got the time to do that then, rather than put myself under pressure and go, oh, I've got to have that done today.
Yeah. So that's cool though, because that's a bit of real talk, really, isn't it? You know, like we can have the fantasy because that's what a lot of things tell us. You know, like if you do 75 hard, you have to do it every single day and all of those things. And I think that that's probably what I had in the back of my mind when I was making my list of like, you do it for 75 hard, so you can do it for this. When in all reality, it's not even how I work. My days are very different. A coaching day is entirely different from a day off, which is entirely different from a work day, a chiro work day. So it's like, okay, well, let's actually be real,
Yeah,
and say what it is. And to also admit, I don't really like it when it's the same every day.
yeah,
I actually like it to be different. So I might as well admit that too and say I'm better off doing it a different. Yeah.
yeah,
Anyway, just
yeah.
self knowledge.
That's right. And you know what? Your steps could be 10-minute walking, could be around the shopping centre,
Yeah.
or it could be, you know, around the beach, or it could be around the house or downstairs. It doesn't have to be 10 minutes just.
Yeah. All
You
the
just,
different ways. Can you hear me?
yeah, perfectly well. Yeah, perfectly well.
Or if you can hear stuff
So
in the back.
mine is completing the culling and um, the steps. That's my for this week.
All right.
Yours?
To do one of the things that's on our monthly list, which
Okay.
to go to a day spa.
Oh, now that would be nice. Shall we do that at some point?
Yes, maybe. So that's something because I've got the, you know, like the daily, the weekly, the monthly, and there's one on the monthly that we should do a day spa. I think should, could, would, love to. So that's one of my things. I'm back re-refining, and my walk is not 10,000 steps. I don't even know what that means. So I just do 10 minutes. And
Yep.
but yeah, I did the same thing. There's on some of my work days, yes, I can do a 10-minute walk. But I've decided that I've changed that up, and so it's gone into a different place in the calendar. So that was being truthful.
Being truthful. Well, that's then let's have a motto this week about truth. What is truth for us?
Yeah. And that's been a big part of my, I'm going to say my whole week. I looked at all the areas. I've written a big list of all the things because I say I don't like lying and don't like liars, and I like truth. And Alison means little truthful one. And I wrote down a list of all the things that I lie about, and there is a lot. So I am now, most of them are to myself. So I'm now going, all right, let's not lie and see what that feels like. And as soon as I said, I'm not going to lie anymore, I'm not going to walk every single day, all of a sudden it felt so much lighter.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And that's a feeling. That's what we want. It's a lightness.
And it feels so much better to just admit it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So
right.
being attracted to the fantasy me versus the real me. And I think I read a quote somewhere this week that it said it's exhausting to be someone else, so just be yourself. And it was that thing of like, you know, I don't mean don't evolve. I don't mean don't change, don't learn, don't do all the things. Absolutely do, but do it in the way that it's truthful and congruent. And yes, may stretch yourself a little bit. However, do it and check in at the same time to make sure that it's leading you where you want to go.
Okay, good. Well, let's see where we're going to lead.
All right. Cool. I will see you next week.
He says goodbye. That's where they are. Look. So that's where
it's time out.
Space. Yeah, time out.
Yeah.
Stanley cries for him. Oh, well, they've been doing this for an hour and 45 minutes, nearly 2 hours now. So we'll see. Off they go again.
Again.
Again. Anyway.
And you know what? We could probably learn from nature, right? It's okay to take some time out, rejuvenate, and then you can come back.
Just having, you know what they're doing? They're having fun. They're connecting, and then they're going to rest.
Have a break and then come back.
Yeah.
Guns blazing rather than getting snappy at each other.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see a little mess. That little dog is so cute. Come on, Stanley, what are you doing? How do they not hear me? Stanley, nothing goes mad for me. I've been taken over.
Yeah. Importance. Yeah.
All right.
See you next week.
See ya.
Bye.